Hey, what's up guys? So coming at you with a brand new Magic the Gathering Commander deck tech, and today we're going to be taking a look at Acornelia, the fashionable filcher. She's a 4-drop, 3/3 Legendary Squirrel that reads, whenever you cast a spell with a squirrel in its artwork, you gain an Acorn counter. Whenever a squirrel you control enters the battlefield or dies, you also get an Acorn. What do we use these Acorns for? Well, you can pay 2 in the black and pay X Acorn counters to give target creature neg X until end of turn, where X is the amount of Acorns you spend. Alternatively, you can pay green and X Acorn counters to give target creature +X until end of turn. Of course, small disclaimer, Acornelia is a silver-bordered commander, meaning that you will need to get permission from your playgroup before actually running this as your commander. The deck as well will run a bunch of silver-bordered cards, but hopefully nothing too broken. But at the end of the day, it's Commander, it should be here for fun. So with that out of the way guys, let's jump into it and hopefully you guys do enjoy the profile. Taking into account our commander's ability that we want to make as many Acorn counters as possible, the best way for us to use that is to cast cards with squirrels in the artwork that are squirrels when they enter the battlefield. That means we're actually going to be running many of the squirrel creatures as possible. So starting off with 3 silver-bordered squirrel cards. Nickering Squirrel, it's a 1-drop 1/1 squirrel that we can tap to increase the result of any die roll by 1. Steel Squirrel is a 2-drop 1/1 that reads, whenever we roll 5 or higher on the die, we can give him X+X+X, where X is the number of the result we roll on the die, and we can pay 6 to roll a die. We're not going to be rolling too many dice in this deck, but they are squirrels, and when we cast them, and when they enter the battlefield, and when they die, so it's going to be the best way for us to make 3 Acorn counters. Earl of Squirrel is a 6-drop 4/4 Squirrel Advisor with Squirrel Link, so damage dealt by him causes you to create that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. Creature tokens you control are squirrels in addition to their other types, and he pumps all our other squirrels by +1/+1. Next up we have Squirrel Mob, which is a 3-drop 2/2 squirrel that gives +1/+1 for every other squirrel in play. Metallic Mimic isn't a squirrel when we cast it, but when it enters the battlefield, we can make it into a squirrel. It's going to give all our other squirrels +1/+1 when they enter the battlefield. Next up we have a bunch of creatures that aren't squirrels, but do make squirrels, and they have squirrels in their artwork. First off, we have our 2 Hermits with Deranged Hermit and Deep Forest Hermit. Both of these cost 5, and when they enter the battlefield, we're going to make 4 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. They both pump all our squirrels +1/+1. Deep Forest Hermit enters the battlefield with Vanishing 3, meaning it has 3 time counters, and at the beginning of upkeep, remove a time counter. Once you run out of time counters, we have to sack the creature. Deranged Hermit is a little bit more difficult, as it does have Echo, meaning we do have to pay 5 mana to keep it alive, each of our upkeeps. But however, even with our commander on the field, casting one of these is going to net us at least 9 Acorns, by 1 for casting the spell, 4 for the squirrels entering, and 4 for the squirrels dying. So both of these are fantastic additions to our deck. Other black border cards we have that make squirrels are Squirrel Wrangler, Leech of Hollows, and the Nut Collector. Nut Collector costs 6 and he's a 1/1, but at the beginning of our upkeep we do make a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Also has Threshold. So as long as we have 7 more cards in our graveyard, all our squirrels are going to get +2/+2. Leech of Hollows reads, whenever it's put field into any graveyard from play, any player may pay any amount of mana they want, and they can use that mana to make 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. Squirrel Wrangler is a 4-drop 2/2 that reads, we can pay 1 in a green and sack a land, put 2 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens onto the battlefield, and we can pay 1 in a green and sack a land and give all our squirrels +1/+1 until the end of the turn. Next up we have a few other cards that make squirrels. First off is the Squirrel Dealer. It's a 1-drop 1/1 Raccoon Lizard Bird. When it enters the battlefield, ask to player outside the game do they like squirrels? If they do, you get a 1/1 green squirrel. Sorceries. First off, we have Chattering the Squirrel and Acorn Harvest. Chattering Squirrel costs 1, Acorn Harvest costs 4. Both of these make squirrel tokens. Chattering will make 1, Acorn will make 2. We can both flash these back from our graveyard for the cost of 2, 1 in a green, and an additional 3 life for Acorn Harvest, giving us extra uses out of these, making more squirrels, and of course, giving us more Acorn. Acorn Catapult as well is a 4-drop artifact. We can pay 1 tap it to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. That creature's controller or that player gets a 1/1 green squirrel creature token, so we can use this to give other players squirrels if we want to be nice. Another way that we can use this is if we have a 1/1 squirrel trap blocking something, 4 damage is dealt, we can use this, kill that squirrel, get an Acorn, and then make another squirrel. Cards that, whilst they don't make squirrels, have squirrels on their artwork. We have Hydrodoodle first. It is an XX green that reads, when it enters battlefield, we roll X 6-sided dice. His power and toughness is equal to the number we roll on the dice. Also has Reach and Trample. We have Kill Destroyer. That's a 3-drop instant that reads, destroy target non-black creature, and if an opponent says kill or destroy, we can yell gotcha and put this back in our hand. So it's essentially a recyclable murder. Land Aid, which is a ramp spell for 2 green. We can go search our library for a basic land, put it in the battlefield tapped. If we sang a song while shuffling our library and searching our library, we can untap that land. You can run Self-Preservation if you want instead, if you really want to run an unstable spell, but this one does have a scroll on it, so we will get an Acorn counter on it. Last card we run with a scroll on it is the Might of Oaks. It's a 4-drop instant that gives creature +7/+7 until the end of the turn. We're also going to take a look at one of our win cons now with Endraze Forerunners. It is an 8-drop 7/7 that when it enters the battlefield gives all our other creatures +2/+2 and Trample. Moving on to our ramp, firstly, we do have 2 ramp creatures in the form of Sacred Tribe Elder and Paradise Druid. We are a little tight for space in this deck, so if I had more ramp space for ramp creatures, I would run them. Sacred Tribe Elder can sack herself to go get any basic land on the battlefield tapped. Paradise Druid has hexproof as long as she's untapped, and she can tap to add 1 mana of any color. Ramp spells, we have Kadama's Reach, Cultivate, and Skyshell Claim. Kadama's Reach and Cultivate will go get us 2 basic lands, 1 on the battlefield tapped and 1 to our hand. And Skyshock Claim will go grab us 2 forests. They don't have to be basic forests, and they will enter the battlefield untapped. Glowing Lights of Itlamok, which can get into the battlefield. We check the top 4 cards of our library, add a creature card from those to our hand, put the rest of our on the bottom of our library in any order. Beginning of our end step, if we have 4 or more creatures, we can transform it into a Pseudo-Gaia's Cradle. It'll tap for 1 green, or it will tap for a green for every creature we control. We can use that to go straight into Genesis Wave, which will cost X green, 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 which will reveal the top X cards of our library, and we put all permanents with combined mana cost X or less onto the battlefield. The others go to our graveyard. Golgari Signet and Sol Ring, again, we are pretty tight for space. Target removal. First off, we have Abrupt Decay. We counted, and we'll destroy target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less. We're also running Murder and Putrefy. We'll destroy any target creature. Putrefy can destroy any creature, and it can also destroy an artifact, and it also prevents it from being regenerated. Harry Charm and Corrosion Grip, which of course, Golgari Charm will choose 1 of 3. We can give all creatures -1/-1 until end of turn, destroy target enchantment, or regenerate each creature we control, which can be really useful once we have a bunch of squirrels if someone tries to nuke our board. Corrosion Grip is also really good for a 3-drop. We can use it to destroy target artifact or enchantment. Also has Split Second, which means they can't chuck anything on top of it in the stack. Draw now for starters, we have Harmonize, Read the Bones, and Sign in Blood. Sign in Blood will allow us to draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. We can also give it to another player if we want to. Read the Bones allows us to scry 2, draw 2, and then we lose 2 life. And Harmonize will simply just let us draw 3 cards. Other ways we have to draw in this deck include Guardian Project, which will read whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under control, if it doesn't have the same name of a card in our graveyard, or we get to draw a card. Also running Skull Clamp and Lifecast's Bestiary. Bestiary allows us to scry in the beginning of our upkeep, and whenever we cast a creature spell, we can pay a green if we do draw a card. Skull Clamp is absolutely insane in this deck, as we are making a bunch of 1/1s. We can pay 1, equip it, give the creature +1, -1, and when the creature dies, we draw 2 cards. Shooter spells, we're running Diabolic Shooter and Diabolic Intent. Both of these can search our library for any card and add it to our hand. The only difference is Diabolic Intent will cost 2 and we have to sack a creature, but we make so many Squirrel tokens, it doesn't really matter. Ways we have to increase the production of our Squirrel Armada include Doubling Season and Parallel Lives. Parallel Lives and Doubling Season both double any token we make, which means when we make 1 Squirrel token, we'd make 2. Doubling Season is also a must for this deck, as it also doubles counters, meaning it will give us extra Acorn counters whenever we would make one from our commander's ability. Other ways we have to make more tokens include Second Harvest, Earthcraft, and Druid's Deliverance. Second Harvest would make a copy of each token that we control on the battlefield. Earthcraft, of course, will allow us to tap an untapped creature we control to untap target basic land. Now, this is obviously proxy because it is on the reserve list, and not everyone lets you play this deck, so I don't know if I want to shell out the full price for it. Earthcraft. Druid's Deliverance, of course, is a fog that allows us to populate, so it allows us to make an extra squirrel. We're running one other fog in the form of Arachnogenesis because this deck doesn't have too many ways to deal with flying creatures, so having a way to make a bunch of spiders that can trap block flying creatures can be really useful. It allows us to put X 1/2 green spider tokens with reach on the battlefield, where X is the number of creatures attacking you. You prevent all damage that is done by non-spider creatures. I mean, no one really plays spiders, so that's perfectly fine. In forms of protection, with Heroic Intervention, it'll give all our creatures hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Orb Wipes in the form of Kindred Dominance, Torment of Hailfire, and Silklash Spider. So we are running a spider in this deck because we can regenerate them with our Swarmyard. Silklash Spider costs 5, and we can pay X and green to deal X damage to each creature with flying on the battlefield, so this can help us really get rid of some pesky flyers that fly on top of us. Torment of Hailfire costs X black, and we can break the polling process X times. Force all players to lose 3 life unless they sack a non-land permanent or discard a card. Kindred Dominance will allow us to destroy anything that's not the creature type we choose, and obviously we're going to pick Squirrels. Acorneila. It's a 3-drop enchantment artifact that reads, attacking creatures you control have Death Touch. We can also pay 2 and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, deal 2 damage to target creature with flying, gain 3 life, or put up to 4 target cards from our graveyard on the bottom of our library in any order. Us is essential. Our creature's attacks, we can put a counter on it. When we have 7 or more quest counters on it, we get +5. All our creatures get +5/+5, which is absolutely insane, especially if we have Doubling Season out, so we can double our counters a little bit faster. We're going to find more ways to increase our Acorn production with Panharmonicon and Conjurer's Closet. Panharmonicon will cause any creature entering the battlefield to trigger a triggered ability to trigger a second time. Our commander's ability is a triggered ability to make acorns, so we will get to make extra acorn counters. This, in combination with our hermits as well, will give us extra squirrels and extra acorns. Conjurer's Closet allows us to flicker a creature at the end of our end step, so we're going to flicker our Squirrel Dealer or any of our hermits just to make a bunch more squirrels if possible. We're also running some more utility artifacts for Crucible Worlds, Vanquish's Banner, Akroma's Memorial, and Coat of Arms. So Crucible Worlds will allow us to play cards from our graveyard, so it will help us, of course, deal with the costs of our Squirrel Wrangler. Vanquish's Banner will give all our Squirrels +1/+1, and whenever we cast a Squirrel, draw a card. Thinking of taking Vanquish's Banner out, actually. If you guys can think of anything I could play instead, let me know. Chroma's Memorial will give all our creatures Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, and protection from black and red. And of course, Coat of Arms gives all our creatures +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield that shares a creature type with it. Normally, I don't like playing Coat of Arms in tribal decks because I play against a lot of tribal in my playgroups. However, this card can be really useful for us because we are playing at least 3 tribes in this deck. We're playing Squirrels, Elves, and Druids, and they can all help pump each other up, which is really nice. For boots to protect our commander or our Earl of Squirrel from being targeted. Guard recursion now, we have Journey to Eternity, Regrowth, and Revive. Regrowth and Revive both cost 2, and they can return target cards from our graveyard to our hand. Revive can get us a green card, and Regrowth can get us any card. Journey to Eternity enchants a creature we control, and whenever a enchanted creature we control dies, we can turn to battlefield transformed as a land. We can use that land to pay for 2 colorless, a green and a black, to return target creature from our graveyard to our hand. Now we've taken a look at all our main deck cards, let's go ahead and take a look at the land base. Starting off with our Golgari lands, we're going to take a look at our tap lands. We're playing Golgari, Rot Farm, Temple of Melody, and Jungle Hollow. All these will enter the battlefield tap. Temple of Melody will allow us to scry 1, Jungle Hollow will gain us 1 life, and Golgari Rot Farm will force us to land back, but it can tap for green-black, which is really useful. For Overgrown Tomb, Llanowar Waste, and Woodland Cemetery, Overgrown Tomb can enter the battlefield untapped if we pay 2 life. It's also a forest, which means we can get it from our Skyshield Claim. Llanowar Waste will tap for colorless mana, or it will tap for green and black as long as we're willing to take a damage. And Woodland Cemetery will enter the battlefield untapped as long as we control a swamp or a forest. Command Tower, we have Underdome and we have Swarmyard. Command Tower will tap for any mana in our color's identity. Underdome will tap for colorless mana, or will tap for any mana we need to pay for the cost of a silver bordered card. Again, check with your playgroup before playing a card like this. Swarmyard will tap for 1 mana, 1 colorless mana, and we can tap it to regenerate target insect, rat, squirrel, or spider. For us, we only weren't really worried about the squirrels and the spiders, but it can be really useful for protecting our commander. If someone's going to ball wipe us when we have a bunch of cards, we can regenerate our commander, preventing her from being destroyed, and then we're going to get a ton of Acorn counters from all the squirrels being destroyed. Passage, which we can tap to add colorless mana, we can pay for to make target creature unblockable until the end of turn. It's a really cheap way to use our commander to hit someone for commander damage. We'll make 21 Acorns, we'll pay 1 green, sack this, pay 4, make our commander unblockable. This is one of the main reasons why we're running Swiftfoot Boots over Lightning Greaves, because we want our commander to be able to cheat in there for some 21 commander damage. Field of Ruin, Ash Barrens, Evolving Wilds, Jund Panorama, and Blighted Woodland. So of course, Field of Ruin we can pay 2 and tap. We can pay 2, tap, and sack it to destroy target non-basic land that the player controls. Everyone gets a basic. Ash Barrens will tap for colorless mana, we can basic land cycle for 1, which is great. Evolving Wilds, tap, sack, get any land, basic land we want. Jund Panorama, tap for colorless, pay 1, tap, sack, get a swamp or a forest. Blighted Woodland also tap for colorless, and we can pay 4 and tap to get 2 basic lands on the battlefield tapped. We have Castle Greenbrag, and it's the battlefield tapped unless we control a forest. We can tap it to add a green, and we can pay 2 and 2 green, tap it to add 6 green, only to use cast on creature spells or use the abilities of creatures. We're also running Tranquil Cove and Pendle Heaven. Tranquil Cove, we'll enter battlefield tapped, they'll tap for green, and we can pay a green to cycle it, which is the main reason to use it. Pendle Haven is very powerful in this deck. It'll tap for green, and we can tap it to give a target 1/1 creature +1/+2 until end of turn. So you can pop up one of our squirrels and make it extra beefy. Bog, because we need graveyard hate. And forests, of course, running those spicy on lands and by swamps. But anyway, guys, that is it for the deck tech. What do you guys think of it? Remember, of course, this is a work in progress, and I'm always looking to update it. If you guys have any suggestions on cards I may have overlooked that I could add to the profile, let me know in the comments below. If you like it, remember to give this video a thumbs up, hit that notification bell so you're updated whenever I release a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one.